story time. It's time to tell the story of when I got drunk. The one and only time I got so drunk that I didn't get drunk like that again. I've gotten tipsy. I still don't like it. I just never liked alcohol, especially when the people around you are getting belligerent, don't know how to act. You don't want to act like that. I don't want to be seen like that. I don't want to be perceived this way. So I just kind of steered away from, getting drunk. I didn't like the way it made me feel, anyways. And I didn't get drunk till I was 21. But guess what? For the guys that went out with me that night, I didn't get drunk. I was too much of a pussy. I kind of got tipsy, maybe, but yeah, I wasn't drunk. Sorry, fellas. But thank you for taking me out on my 21st attempt to get drunk. But, that just never was my lane. I didn't like it. But there was that one faithful night in my early 20s. Yeah, it was bad. I got stupor. You know what stupor means? That's when you're like there physically, but not there. I was, I couldn't vocalize anything. I couldn't see anything. Um, but let's rewind. It's 2006, 2007. Everybody's having a good time dancing reggaeton with the boys. We out with the boys. Everybody's looking to get drunk, have a good time. We had the weekends off from our shitty jobs, so we're gonna go out and try to get, have a good time. So we went bar hopping. We ended up at some club, and I remember at some moment looking around the room and being like, "Oh, it's spinning. I didn't want to get this drunk." So I remember making the next mistake was looking at my watch, and it was only 11:30. So I'm like, how am I going to survive this? You know what we all do. We're going to water it up. We're going to chill. I had to disappear from my friends because, whenever they saw me, shot, 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 and that song's probably popular at that time too. So I was just steering clear. I was going dancing with, girls over there. Boom. So, and, I did that for a little too long. And by the time it was like 1:20, 1:30, here come the boys. Yo, shots, come on. They're about to, last call for alcohol. You know how that goes. So we all wrangle up by the bar, and one shot turns to two shots turn to three shots turn to four. You know what they say, you hit the floor. I was done. I couldn't even speak words. I couldn't vocalize anything. I couldn't see anything. But I'm like, okay, my friends are here. Someone's going to notice, and I'm going to be fine. And all of a sudden, someone grabs me from my left side, and another person grabs me from my right side, and I hear two women's voices. And I'm like, oh, these people don't sound familiar to me. And I'm getting whisked away. And at this time, again, I can't vocalize anything, but I'm screaming in my head, hey, assholes, I drove here in my car. And, they're congratulating me, patting me on the back as these girls are taking me away. I don't know where they're taking me. They put me in the back of a car. I'm not sure what kind of car. I think it was a Civic for some reason. Then this was the most terrifying ride I've ever had. I couldn't see anything, so I'm being, left to right, car swerving everywhere. These girls are joking and laughing. One's like the Joker, the other one has a hyena laugh, and I'm petrified in the back, not knowing where I'm going. So we finally stop. I feel us stopping, and they whisk me out, and I get brought into this apartment, and I hear another woman's voice. As I'm walking, I can feel myself walking past these rooms, and then I get planted on a bed, which I know now was mom's bed, and mom is nursing me back to health. Okay, she was like a mama bird with a baby bird, and she's just giving me a little bit of life at a time. She's dabbing me with a towel, a wet towel, nice and warm, and she's trying to nurse me back, and I see all these nice things. Ay, nene lindo, y ay, ¿dónde vive? ¿De dónde él? Asking all these questions that I can't answer, clearly. And she's touching me way too much. Lots of nipple touching. I remember my nipples just being sensitive, very sensitive. Um, but anyways, and then it happens. Then it happens. I get that magma starting to make its way up. And I want to scream out to this lady. I want to yell and tell her to move out the way. Stop touching my nipples so much. Anything. But before you know it, it just comes out of me, and it's projectile just projectile vomiting all over the place. And at the same time, as I throw up, my eyes open so I can see what's happening. So I'm hitting the dresser, I'm hitting the floor. And this lady turned from a saint to the worst person from 0 to 100. She was like, sácalo de aquí, sácalo, llévatelo al carajo, just going nuts, just trying to get me out of there. And all of a sudden, I get whisked away again. These girls pick me up, put me in the back of their car, and I blacked out again at some point. And the next thing I remember is waking up in my apartment the next day. And I was confirming everything with because I didn't even think that happened. I don't know if that was real. Hey, by the way, if you girls are out there and you guys remember this, can you guys reach out and tell me what actually happened that night? That would be great. But I woke up the next day and yeah, I never drank like that again. I never drank like that again. That was the last time because I never wanted to lose control of myself like I did that night. That was just nuts. And I want to give a big shout out. A couple of you guys who had problems with alcohol have hit me up in my inbox, and I appreciate your stories. But you guys have it the hardest. Think about it, guys. Alcoholism has to be the worst addiction there is out there. Think about anytime you go to a venue, anytime you go to an event, anytime you go to dinner, anytime you go to a restaurant, what's the first thing they ask you? What would you like to drink, sir? Right? Imagine in my addiction, if everywhere I went, they would stop and ask me, hey, what kind of pill would you like, sir? I wouldn't be sober. That just wouldn't happen. I'd be popping pills till this day. So I commend those people because you got to be very strong. When I lived in Florida, in the carousel, when you're paying, you know how they have like knickknacks and snacks on the way out? They had alcohol, they had beer, they had wine, they had buzz balls, which are like 9%, 10% alcohol, some crazy number like that. So yeah, alcoholism is nothing to fuck with. If you got over that, you are a goddamn beast. And a couple of y'all hit me up. I commend y'all. And I'm gonna end this with the best line that I think I've ever heard about drinking. When you drink, uh, drink when you're happy or celebrating. Don't drink when you're happy because drinking is gonna emphasize the feelings that you're having at the moment. So if you're down or depressed and you drink, what's going to happen? Naturally, you're going to continue to go de-escalate. You're going to go down. You're just going to get worse. When you're celebrating, only good things can happen. So I think that's some of the best advice I've heard about drinking. But again, I've never had a big relationship with drinking. Oh, and last thing, I won't get offended if you offer me a drink. I just won't. I do drink socially on vacation, things like that. So if we're out there and you see me, you can offer me a drink. I won't get offended. Thanks, guys. We're on the brink, but we can change that.